What are two things that every single Football Manager player loves? Wonderkids and bargains, and today we'll be combining them, looking at Wonderkids who you can sign at the start of your saves for under £1 million. All of these guys can go on to be absolutely amazing players for you if developed right and if you get them on the higher end of their potential range. There's going to be quite a few in here you haven't heard of, so get your shortlist ready and start noting these players down because I think a lot of them will represent amazing signings in your save. Welcome to the video everyone, I'm Jake for FMSCOUT, and as mentioned we have got Wonderkids under £1 million for you today. One in every single position in a team of 11, so in theory this team costs under £11 million, but actually some of these guys are free, some are 1 million, some are £100,000, so there'll be someone for every single one of your guys' saves. If you don't see these players in your saves, it might be because you don't have their leagues loaded. For example, if there's a player from Brazil that isn't in your saves, it might be that your database is too small and you don't have the Brazilian leagues loaded. We'll get a lot of comments about that, so I needed to say it now, but with that being said, let's get into these 11 players. And of course, we start off with a goalkeeper. Now, every player in this list has a potential to be a Wonderkid and has the potential to be under 1 million. In some saves, it may fluctuate, but overall, if you checked out all of these 11 players, you would certainly find a few bargains. And we start off with a goalkeeper by the name of Nathaniel Nuosu, who plays for Water FC in Nigeria. Now, if you have this player in your save, you're getting a 16-year-old goalkeeper who at 6'2" looks like this. I mean, he's never going to be the world's best goalkeeper, but he has the potential to be a pretty good one, and certainly one that's worth the investment of, I mean, his value here is what? You could get him for £60,000, or you could just approach to sign him and bring him to your club that way by the looks of it. A great goalkeeper who should be available for most clubs, already 4 caps for the Nigerian under-20s team. If you develop him well, he will be Nigeria's starting goalkeeper, and he's not going to cost you anything really at all. Moving on to player number 2 now, but before we take too much of a look into him, I'd like to ask you guys to do us a massive favour and smash the like button. We would massively appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel as well, if not just to support us, but to help you guys as well. We'll be uploading 2 videos a day in this release period, loads of Wonderkids, loads of bargains, loads of free agents. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell while you're there, and let us know what your favourite bargain Wonderkid you found of FM23 so far is, and hopefully we'll have a big list of Wonderkids in the comments for people to sign. You might have found some that I don't know about yet, so let me know. But this centre-back, our second player, is so complete for his age. Now, he does have the ability to be a Wonderkid in your saves. He is already 20 years of age, so he does look a little better than some of the others that we will look at. But playing for Real Madrid's B side means he should be in a lot of your guys' saves. This is Rafa Martin, a centre-back who has a lot of ability right from the off. I mean, £500,000-ish gets you a centre-back who's very well physically rounded, mentals are very good, and his technicals, I mean, he's not going to take your corners, but he can head well. He has good long throws, tackling and marking. I can really see this guy being a success in a lot of your saves. He's certainly worth picking up, even if it's just to sell on for profit in a few years' time. And that's the case for all of these players, by the way. If they don't make your first team, they'll at least make you some money down the line. But Rafa Martin, a great choice at centre-back, and I think maybe one of my first signings I'll make in every save this year. Speaking of me making signings, I do have my own channel linked in the description down below where we've got a Leicester save going on currently. It will have just started, so get on board whilst you can. Just do me a favour, check out episode 1 or 2, and I really do think you'll enjoy it and you'll be hooked. We're getting very close to 10k subs over there, so any support will be massively appreciated, and you'll be an absolute legend if you do go over and check that out. But Diego Travaros is our third player in this video, a right back from Portugal. He plays for Sporting's B team and can be picked up in this save at least for around £200,000. Now at the age of 18, he is versatile in many an area, but he's not blowing anyone's socks off, right? He's not a world-class player straight away. Chances are it'd be very hard for him to ever get to that stage. If you get very lucky, you might have that opportunity, but I think realistically, you're buying this guy to sell for a profit, but he could do a job at a lower level. I imagine a lot of you will have Portugal loaded, so just spend £200,000 on him, leave him in your youth teams, hope he develops, and you'll make a profit down the line, or get a player that can contribute to your first team. There's nothing too stand out about him, but he does have the potential to be a Wonderkid in your save. It seems to be the place for bargains this year. Another player from Real Madrid's B team, and there's more to come in this video as well, by the way. I don't know what's going on over there, but there's another bargain to be had for around £300,000 this time. Another 20-year-old centre-back who comes around as a very complete player right from the off. It is Alvaro Carrillo. Now, the one thing about him that puts me off a little bit is his hype. He's very determined, which will help with his growth. He's got great heading, tackling, marking, and a lot of very good mental attributes. His passing is decent as well, and much like the other centre-back we looked at, he could definitely be a player at the highest level once fully grown. And to think you can invest basically £1 million combined in the two of them and get a centre-back partnership that could last you a few years, I think it's a great deal. Get a scout in that Real Madrid B side and sign pretty much everyone that is available, because he looks like a star for that price. Spain is the place to go for cheap Wonderkids. Often the release clause rule leads to these players being available super cheap, particularly if they're playing for a team in the lower divisions. And we have an example of that here. Torre Levante, a team in the regional division of Spain. I don't know how far down that is, but it's a semi-professional club. And in there is a 17-year-old by the name of Monty. Now, this guy is a left back or left wing back, if you want to call him that, who can be picked up for around £100,000. And I think he's a very good option at the age of 17. His technicals are nicely well-rounded, a good passer, a good tackler, who with a bit of work will have pretty much everything you'd want in the technical side of the game. He's quick and pacey and very agile too. Add some stamina into that and some strength as he gets older, and they'll be perfectly rounded as well. His mentals are where he's let down a little bit, but there's still plenty of good things about him. Work rate, teamwork, off the ball and decision making. A bit of mentoring to get that determination up. That could also be a different value in your save, as often with these young players, attributes in Football Manager are random, and I think he'd make a great choice left back. It's not always easy to find Wonderkid fullbacks in Football Manager, and FM23 is no different, but Monty could be a great choice at that price. With our defence complete, we move in to the midfield and a player that is available as a free agent. It is the Austrian with 3 under-21 caps by the name of Kai Stratzinig. Now, being 20 years of age and looking like this, he's not going to play for Man U, but I think he could certainly come in say, the second division in England and eventually grow to be a first division player if trained well enough. His physicals are very well rounded for a defensive midfielder. His mentals are pretty nice too. There's nothing horrible about them. His determination is good, and his decision making and concentration needs work, mind you, but he's got good positioning, good off the ball, good work rate, and some nice technicals to go alongside it. He can pass as well as he can tackle with some decent technique. Like I say, he's not blowing anyone's mind, but for free, you can't ask for too much more. Let go by Wolfsberger out in Austria, having played quite a lot of games for their first team actually, and they are one of the bigger sides in Austria, so that's quite impressive. But now he has been let go on a free contract and will probably get snapped up pretty quick. My suggestion, offer him a trial, give him a few days, see what you think, and if he's worth it, give him a contract, because there's not much to lose with this boy. One of the best players in this list though is the 16-year-old Swedish national Lucas Bergval, who plays for IF Brommapojkarna out in the Swedish First Division. All of those pronunciations were probably wrong. I did my best, but either way, let's look past them and look at his attributes, because he is a great option for a 16-year-old. Available to approach to sign right from the off. Will he accept anything? It doesn't look like he wants to get involved, but if you make the offer to his club, there's a good chance they'll accept, and then you'll be able to start negotiating a contract with the boy. Around £200,000 is all you'll need to get a player who physically is pretty decent for his age, and that's only going to go up with time. He's 6'1". His technicals and mentals are actually exceptional for his age, and he really could go on to be not just a top division player, but playing for one of the top sides in the Premier League, let's say, once fully developed. I really think he could be that good. Nothing to lose on him. You could easily make tons of profit just by signing this guy, so give him a go if you have got the Swedish divisions loaded, and if not, load them into your next save so you're able to sign Lucas Bergval. It's not often we get a player who's in the essential Wonderkid video but is also under £1 million, but we have one here with Luis Gilherme, a Brazilian 16-year-old. He plays for SEP in Brazil. That's what they'll be called without the real name fix. I believe that's Palmeiras, but I could be wrong. And yeah, this guy has the potential to be one of the best attacking midfielders in the game, and there's no real drawback in signing him. He's not going to cost all that much, somewhere under £1 million in this save, physically already developed very well for a 16-year-old. Mentals need a lot of work, to be honest, but you can get there with some mentoring, and his technicals are pretty decent as well. I know he doesn't look like the complete package just yet, but trust me, he has a pretty high potential range, meaning very often he will have potential to be a very good player in your save. All it might take is a couple years of developing in your youth team, and Luis Gilherme could really be a top draw player for you. So give him a try. A Brazilian wonder kid who's an attacker. It's the stuff of a FM player's dream. Sign him up, you won't regret it. 3 players left now. Don't forget to like the video if you are enjoying, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the other videos. And if you want to, again, my channel is linked below. But our final 3 players, 2 of them are actually going to be from Real Madrid's B side, which I believe brings our total to 4. So definitely make sure you've got the Spanish divisions loaded in your saves. Another 20-year-old who is looking like a great option for about £500,000, wanted by Porto straight away, so you can see this man does have talent. Oscar Aranda of Real Madrid B. He's an inside forward / inverted winger on that left-hand side. For me, with that finishing, I'd have him cutting inside as an inside forward to score goals. You can see as soon as we highlight that role, he looks perfect for it. Physically, he's already developed quite well. Mentally is the one place where he needs some work, but his work rate, vision and teamwork are pretty good. He's got good passing technique, great long shots, good first touch, dribbling and finishing. There's not much more you can ask for at this price point, and he has the potential to improve a lot more still. So Oscar Aranda, if you want an option on that left hand side, you could do a lot worse than this man. We head out to Portugal for our next player, and to Jesus Diaz, who plays for Portugal but is currently on loan with Barranquilla FC out in Colombia, and you'll have to wait until that's over before you try and sign him. It looks like there's no kind of sign-on agreement with the Colombian side, so he should return to Porto. So set your scouts on him and try and make a move for him when he comes back to Porto. They have only recently signed him from that side, Barranquilla, and loaned him back out, so they're going to be quite reluctant to let him go, but his value can be under £1 million in your save, and you can see why we're highlighting him. Even if sometimes in your save he goes over that budget, he might still be worth it, because those physicals, I say might, he is still worth it. Those physicals are great, those mentals are great, and the 18-year-old Colombian's technicals are crazy good. I mean, Porto had Luis Diaz, now they've got Jesus Diaz. I don't know if they're related. I didn't actually know this, but it actually is. It's Luis Diaz's brother, so the Liverpool player, this is his younger brother, Jesus Diaz. What more do you need to know? He can go on to be a top draw player. If he's anything like his brother, he's going to be worth £1 million, right? And what a great option he can be cutting in from that right-hand side. And our final player to top off our under £1 million list is Noel Lopez. He's actually in Real Madrid's first team and not Real Madrid B, but I'm not sure that will last if you go a few days into your save. But you can see why he's an interesting player to try and sign. Physically, he looks great, very well-rounded already at 19. Mentally, again, the same situation, but technically, first touch finishing and dribbling of a very, very good level, and it's only going to get better. You couldn't ask for too much more in a young striker, and I think he'll be a fan favourite this year. Just to double check this value wasn't a con, I just spoke to his agent and it still stayed at around £500,000–600,000. Whether he'd want to join straight away, I'm not sure, but make the offer to Real Madrid, see what they think, and you could get yourself an absolute bargain here. And that finishes off our list of players for under £1 million. I think you could make a great team with all of these guys, and in most cases eventually these guys could be first team players for you, so make sure you check them out in your saves. Thank you all for watching and for all your support on the channel. Let's try and get 150,000 subscribers and 10k on my own channel. Like if you did enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.